The most important relationship in our life is our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The foundation of this relationship is the words of Allah in the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I did not create the jinn and mankind except that they may worship me. So this verse, this ayah, it shows the purpose of the creation. Sayyidina Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu wa ardahu said that the meaning of to worship me is to know me, which means ma'rifatullahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, because there is no ibadah without ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fact is that Allah does not need our salah, does not need our ibadah. Allah does not need us at all. So the one who needs the ibadah is us, not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if all mankind believe in Allah or disbelieve in Allah, it doesn't change anything about Allah. So He is God regardless that we believe in that or not. And the one who needs the ibadah is the human, because we need to connect our souls and ourselves with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the ibadah here, it gives us that opportunity to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the other fact is, if you look at the amount of our ibadah, you will find they're all small numbers. For example, salah is only 5 times a day. Fasting is 1 month a year. Hajj is once a life, if you're able to. If you can, then don't worry about it. So the amount itself, it proves that the ibadah that Allah gave us to do and command us to do is not being requested for itself as the ibadah, but for something else, which is to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So based on that, we should understand that by performing the ibadah, we should gain something more special than the ibadah itself. And this thing is the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ishqullahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Mevlana Rumi rahimahullah ta'ala said, الشريعة التي لا تعطي الإنسان شيئا فهي غير حقيقية. So the sharia and the ibadah that does not give a person anything is not real. So we perform the ibadah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we don't receive anything. So we enter the salah, we perform the ibadah, we finish the salah, and we didn't feel any connection. And then there is no reflection of this ibadah into our daily life and actions. So that means something missing. So either the ibadah itself is not working, or something wrong inside our heart. So the ibadah itself it's perfect because it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the ibadah is perfect, so that means the problem is inside our heart. That we're not understanding the purpose of the ibadah itself. Why the ibadah there in our life? Why do we have to do ibadah? So we not understand the purpose of this ibadah. And the second thing is we don't know how to communicate with this ibadah to make us able to communicate and to connect with Allah. So ibadah is like a vehicle you get in, and then it will take you to another destination, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what we do here is that we get inside this ibadah, this external form, but when we get inside it, we don't know what's next. We don't know what to do next. So that's why you might see a person standing up and performing the ibadah, for example, salah, and then check his ibadah, get the list of the fuqaha. So based on the fiqh, his ibadah is perfect. So he applied the arkan, the sunan, the manners. So check. Yes, he passed. So the ibadah based on the fiqh is valid. Done. So now you finish your fard. But hold on, that's not everything. So the main question now comes after that is, did this ibadah took you to Allah or not? So did this ibadah connected you with Allah or not? So this is the main question. So if during this ibadah you feel that your heart is connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you feel that you focus with Allah, then at that time your ibadah is good because it took you to Allah. But if you get inside the ibadah, as we do today, we enter the salah with the takbir and we end with the taslim, and then we leave, I think we didn't realize anything, we didn't feel any connection. So that means there's something missing. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't look at the external form of the ibadah. So we have to understand this is very important thing, that the ibadah is not by its external form. So the ibadah, as it has external form, it has also an internal form. So this is the external side, and this is the internal side. This is the external side for the body, and this is the internal side for the soul, the heart. So as the body presents in front of Allah, face the Qibla, and focus there and doesn't turn right or left during the Salah, the soul and the heart must present as well and face the Qibla and not turn right or left. So here we understand that during this ibadah we are missing a very important link between our soul and the action of worship itself. Because of that, we're not gaining any benefit from this ibadah, and because of that, the ibadah is not reflecting into our life and our daily life. So, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran about this in Surah Al-Bayyinah, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. So this what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, it means that, and they were not commanded by Allah except to worship Allah, being sincere to Him in religion. Being sincere, which means worshiping Allah with the sincerity, with the ikhlas. So this ayah, it proves that there is external side of the ibadah and there is internal side of the ibadah. Both together ibadah. But giving Allah the external side and focusing on it, and then forgetting about the internal side, then here it cannot call ibadah. So the ikhlas, the sincerity in Arabic it means safa. Safa, pureness. Safa, it means in Arabic, it means al-khususiyya, which means exclusiveness. What that means? That means that's emptying everything for one thing. And here it means emptying your heart, your mind from everything except Allah. So leave everything empty for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which means you all the time have that pureness inside your heart. So when you get in the ibadah, nothing comes inside your ibadah from your heart, from your soul. It's all empty. So you throw everything outside and you enter the ibadah with full safa, exclusiveness for Allah. So you're just for Allah, you're not for anything else. So that's why when you start your salah saying Allahu Akbar, means Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest than anything else exists in your mind, in your heart during the ibadah. And then when you finish with a salam and taslim for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that safa, that's exclusiveness, the ikhlas, the sincerity, this is the soul of the ibadah. And the soul of the ibadah, the ruh al-ibadah, it is itself ruh al-hub and ruh al-ashq. So the soul of the ashq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then your salah at that time, it becomes a salatul ashiq, the lover one, the one who prays ibadah as a lover one for his beloved one, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. Allah wants your heart. Allah wants the love from your heart. The ibadah should increase your love to Allah, and your love to the ibadah should also increase more and more, because the ibadah is what's going to bring you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah is your beloved one and you are Aashiq, you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will love everything that will bring you closer to your beloved one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, in next verse, inshallah, we will go deeper about the internal side, which is of the ibadah, the ruh al-ibadah and the ruh al-hub. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open our heart and fill it up with His love and ashq and ma'rifah and a good knowledge that brings us closer to Him. Allahumma ameen. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.